In this video I'm going to be talking about how I'm going to fix gear selection problem in a Ford Transit. I just want to start the engine. So this is a 2005 model. The next model up has the gear stick on the actual dash side, and the issue is with second it gets sticky at times, and certainly reverse is the biggest problem. It's going in there now at the minute, but at times it'll stop working and you won't be able to find gears. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out under the bonnet. I'm going to show you the selector and how you take out the selector issue. I know by the feel of this one that it's not a cable problem. When it's selecting like that and selecting freely, it's not a cable problem, it's the selector itself. So let's get out under the bonnet and I'll show you how to remove the selector and what is actually at fault with the particular selector and why it stops in them gears. So we're out under the bonnet now, and if you look down here, this is the actual selector mechanism here, and there's the cables that it goes onto. And if you look down there, I won't be able to get my hand in while I'm shining, but see them small bolts? There is a selection of them small bolts all around. I'm going to get a long screwdriver so I can just point to them for you. Okay, so these bolts here, see that and that? There is a number of them around. I'm not sure exactly how many at the moment. Looks like maybe 6 or something like that. Will need to be removed. I'm going to disconnect the cables, remove that. There is going to be a sealer, some type of gasket that's holding them down, so it'll take a little bit of prying and then it should come straight up out of position. The selector is that unit there. So that's the selector there. This is the selector box, and we need to take that whole unit out of position. So I'll start first by removing those cables and making room to gain access to the actual selector bolts that's holding it down. I have the cables now removed. I'm going to try and remove the whole thing without taking out any more. And if you look straight down here, these squeeze in, so just there and just there you push in and then you pull up, so they squeeze together at the top and you pull up the cable off it, and that's where they're sitting, so you just have to get it off that. So I have all the bolts out now, and let me count them. Yeah, there's 6 in it, and there's an electrical connector which is just here. You push on the back of it and pull back, and then this whole item comes up out of the way. Now I'll just show you the tools I use when I get this out. 1 second now. So we have that out, put that in the bench. Now this is where it pays to have the right tools to speed this job up. I have an impact wobble joint and I have my impact cordless, which made this job a lot more easy. I wouldn't like to be trying to do it with a ratchet and extensions in that area because it is extremely tight. But if you have the right tools, and you'll get out of it reasonably fast. If you don't, I think you just have to be patient and work your way around them, and you'll get them. If you are attempting to do this job yourself, I would highly recommend a impact wobble joint, and if you can, get a cordless impact tool. I suppose you can also use an airline impact if safe to do so. Now I have the selector out here. Let me get better. Right, so let me just show you what's happening. Put some light on this. There we go. It's currently sitting in neutral. That movement is absolutely fine. That's not the issue. Let me zoom in. The up and down is the problem. So see that shaft there? See the way it goes that way? Well, this cable here moves up and down, and to try and get it into that position is extremely tight. There we go. Finally did, but it's sticking there. So this whole shaft runs up along here, and in this particular area here it's getting stuck. I'm going to pop these clips off now and gain access to view the actual shaft from the inside. Okay, so that's off. Let's just pull the clips outwards and let's have a look in here. Right, so you can just see there, if I can get that shaft back down. 1 second now, I just want to move this. Neutral and down. And we'll have a better look. Yeah. So in this area here is where our problem is. There is dirt and slime sticking on them and making it more difficult to move up and down, especially in that area there. So when you get to this stage, you have a couple of options. The first option would be you can steep this in some type of penetrating oil, try and clean up all around there and make sure that it is given every chance to move freely up and down. The problem with that tactic is there's a roller bearing in this side here, and if the roller bearing has gone too far in regards to wear or dirt and slime that's in there, the penetrating oil will only do so much. So you can try that and it may work, but I would say it wouldn't be a permanent fix. The other option is the option that we will be doing today, which is this. That is the roller bearing, and it sits into that selector housing, and I am going to get this ready, set up in the vise, and show you how to install that and a new seal right now. So the items that needs to be removed to do this, there is 4 bolts holding this particular section in. We have another bolt here, another one in there, and lastly that. So we take all of them off. You need to obviously be very aware of your layout, where items sit, and you want to line it back up exactly afterwards. So take your time and be cautious with this. I'm going to go about removing all them items now so I can pop this shaft outwards. So I have that bolt out now, just there. Take this one out now. This should pop off. Yep. So you got to be cautious with that when you're fitting it back on, but that's removed now. So disconnect this now. This whole shaft should come, yeah, that whole shaft come out now. Okay, so that is out. This should push through. We sure you keep everything intact afterwards. Don't lose any springs, anything like that. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to go about giving a good clean to the shaft itself before I put it back in. But for now, I'll just pop it over here. And there we have it. So let's have a look and see. So right in there where my finger is the roller bearings that's all corroded. They are pretty bad. You can see them now. Yeah, they're actually very bad. Some of them have lost the roller bearings out of them. I don't know if you can see it from this side. Have a look. Okay. See right there? It's all meshed up. Now that's what I meant when I was talking about the lubrication side. No lubrication can sort that. It's a replacement of the bearings, or forget about it. It might help. You might get gears for a while, but the problem is going to persist. And in my honest opinion, I would say if you're in this far, you're as well to go all the way and just replace it. The lubrication side of it is just a temporary measure for these, and you won't know unless you take the shaft out to have a look to see really how bad it is. So the next thing I'm going to do is get some type of socket that fits that and pop it out. There's a seal on this end here that needs to come out first. Yeah, that's a good view there. You can really see how bad that bearing is. Alright, so we now have the problem. Let's get the solution and get the new bearing into it. So this is my setup here for removing that bearing. I have a 14mm socket, extension, and a hammer to the side, and I have it on a solid block of timber that allows it to be basically kept nice and secure as I hit it down without risking any damage. I could put it on the floor, but this case in here, you don't want to risk doing anything to that. So I have it on that, starting to hit it a couple of whacks, and it's already started to move. As you can see there, it's popping out. There's no clip on either side, so you could hit it vice versa basically, but this is a much easier way. And there we have the culprit out. I am basically going to clean this up as much as I can on the inside. Put a bit of grease on it so it slides back in easier, and then I will go about putting in the new one and sitting the seal down on top. I now have the new bearing in and also the new seal. I used an 18mm socket for the seal just to make sure it tapped down nice and straight and even. So the next thing I'm going to do is clean up the shaft and get it ready for reinstall, and then it's about fitting back everything that I removed. Be extremely cautious, take your time. This is not a stage to be rushed. Just like when fitting the bearing, you want to make sure it gets tapped down straight. You can also use a bearing press if you had that facility. If it was a case that the bearing wasn't moving nice and evenly with every blow that I gave it with the hammer, I would have brought it over and used the bearing press. But in my case, it wasn't needed. So with that said, it's on to the next stage. So I have the shaft cleaned up now and ready to install back in. As you can see there is a bit of we'll call it damage from rough bearings rubbing across it. That should be nice and smooth, but I've sanded it with fine sandpaper, and I use wire wool as well to take off some of the scum. Just going to give it some light bearing grease now and install the shaft again. Center bolt back in, and I have the top bolt back in as well, and if you're wondering if it made much of a difference, it is completely free now. It's like new again, except for the little bit of wear on that shaft itself, but the movement is very, very smooth. So I'm going to go about putting on the back piece now and fitting this all back together. It's all back together now, and look at the difference. How free that is, up and down, no problem. Select gears. It's it's perfect. That is exactly the result we wanted. I have to do a little repair on this pipe here because that was broken. It's just like a little washer bottle pipe. So I'll put a new piece on that and I will fit this all back together and this job is done. So before I put it back down, I've just put a little skim of high temp sealer all the way around it and it's ready for fit back. So it's all back together now, the cables are on and it's all ready to go. So I'm just going to pop in, make sure that all the gears are functioning as it should, and this job will then be complete. Start it up. Clutch in. First is fine. Second is fine. Now reverse. So that is it, we have a success. The problem has now been solved. I hope you found this video useful. If you have the same problem, you now have the reason for it and you now have the information on how to fix it. A gentleman recently asked me why I do these videos, why do I give out all this information that I could keep to myself in this trade. And it's very simple. We are completely transparent and honest with our customers here in Burke's Garage. We detail all our job cards, we show parts that we remove mid-job if we need to. We'll call a customer in and show them exactly what's going on, if it's taken longer, the reasons why, and the difficulties we come into on a daily basis basically. So we don't try to hide anything. All of them jobs I would be happy for the customer to see each stage as it goes along, and he's more informed. Every customer that we have gets a lot of information if they want it. Some customers don't, but the people that genuinely want it, they have it. And that is the main reason I do these videos. I enjoy them a lot. They help people out. They help our customers out. And that's pretty much it. Again, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It'll help my channel out a lot. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.